We're manifesting it. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. We're taking on today a Trailfinders side who have been playing some great rugby themselves and have got good behind us. They would love to go to Christmas and instead of winter break on a high with victory into Loughborough. We know they've got perhaps a familiar face to you, both club and internationally in the back row there. So it's going to be quite an interesting game. Rachel might think it's a proper competitor as well, isn't she? So she'd like nothing more than going to run over her own rules. Therefore, with the mask, if you've got any questions you'd like to throw to us, yes. You're a shout out, of course. Thank you, Keegan, for the best. What a legend. What a legend. Thank you. There he is.
Script, flip the switch, magic trick, watch this, watch this. I'm about to make you trip, make you glitch, camera click, watch this, watch this. I glitter like gold, check out the view. Out with the old, and in with the new. I'm in my new era. I'm better in my new era. I'm better in my new era.
Good afternoon, everybody. Season's greetings from the Cinch Stadium at Franklin's Gardens. We have got a Christmas treat for you in round 7 as 5th place hosts 6th in the PWR with the prospect of propelling oneself into the playoff positions at stake for either Loughborough Lightning or Trailfinders women who kick off at 2 p.m. Delighted to welcome you guys for the final time on YouTube this season for the PWR before the pre-season break, and delighted to have a special guest as well, former Wasps Trailfinders head coach, GB7s. There isn't anything that you don't know about the game, Giselle Mather.
Well, I wouldn't say that, but really, really looking forward to this game. It's going to be such a competition. These two sides, there's very little between them. There's a couple of areas of the game where they have an edge, and it'll be interesting to see whether they can pull it out, but they are so competitive. The last game here, 36-34 to Loughborough. So it's going to be really, really exciting game.
Two very similar style teams as well in terms of their approach to the game too.
Yeah, they've got a lot of energy with how they play. They want to move the ball from wing to wing. There's a lot of power in the centres from both, and magicians as well out there in the centres, so I'm really looking forward to that. And it is going to be about who wants it most. And I know that's a real cliche, who wants it most, but what it actually means is the actions that the players take to show that, because every single one of them would love to go into Christmas now with a win, being higher up the table, all of that, every player. But the ones that really, really want it most, you'll start seeing actions like, you know, when they've tackled, they'll be getting up off the floor, fastest back in the line, movement off the ball, the speed that they move into shape will be the players that really want that post-contact meters, really driving their legs, pulling other defenders in to make space for others. These are the actions that we'll be looking for to see who's got that most competitive instinct.
Right, wow. Fiercely competitive today here on the pitch, but also throughout the league. We've had a bumper weekend of fixtures, and it was the big game yesterday that brought all the stars and some wondrous tries to Harlequins with a resounding victory at the expense of Bristol Bears. You can see elsewhere, still in play at the moment, Saracens are in command against the Sharks, and then later on iPlayer, Tigers will host the three-time champions Gloucester Hartpury. A daunting prospect for the Midlands side, searching for their first victory of the campaign. So you've heard the word from myself and, well, mainly Giselle, who's the important person to listen to. But I also caught up with the head coaches moments ago. So Nathan Smith and Barney Madison, let's hear what they had to say. Nathan, fifth in the table, peeping over that playoff fence, and the guys behind you are here at your home ground today. It's got the sense of a big sort of must-win game. Is that the feeling going through your coaching team and the squad this week in the build-up?
Yeah, it's certainly an important game. I still think we're pretty fresh into the season, so we're about at the halfway point. I think whatever happens today is not going to define either team in the long stretch of the season. However, if we win today, getting into third for the Christmas break's huge, and it's huge for the programme in terms of just look, feel, and then the confidence going in to the second half of the season. I'd say it's not terminal if we don't win. However, the confidence side of stuff going in into Christmas and into the break around January time is important. Yeah.
So we'll take whatever happens out of the equation for the moment for this question. Are you largely pleased with how you've performed and what you've delivered, specifically, I guess, with that performance last week against Bristol in mind?
Yeah, definitely. I think the performances have been growing. I think we played pretty well for 40 minutes against Saracens, then took that certainly into the second half of the Bristol game. So there's some real promising aspects of our performances at the moment that we want to build on today.
Let's talk about selection. Minor changes, chiefly in the front row with Catherine Tredder and Isla Curfey coming in. Can you talk us through those?
Yeah, they're just injury changes. Lucy picked up a knock midweek and Anne failed a HIA from the Bristol game, but Isla's been chomping at the bit to get a start, and also Treads has been wanting to start as well. So it's done me a favour really, because I don't have to have any selection conversations this week. So yeah.
Bonnie, here we are, final round of the PWR before Christmas. Would it be right in saying that this is your biggest game, given where you and Loughborough are in the table and both of your ambitions for the playoffs?
Yeah, I'd say any game's big, but again, leading into Christmas as such, if we kind of get what we want here, it'll be determined who kind of finishes in top four before Christmas.
Very similar styles, both quite a lot of adventure. Seems like both sides have license to play. Is it about going out and playing your game, or is it about going out and countering them today?
No, it's very much about our game. We've kind of always we focus on ourselves during the week. Yes, we've obviously looked at them and what they can kind of bring to the table as such, but again, we've massively focused on ourselves.
With that in mind, you made 11 changes, and bearing in mind it was a resounding victory against Tigers. What's driven that?
Yeah, so again, we had a 4 blocks kind of games, and we needed to make changes throughout that because, again, and if we want to kind of achieve anything this year, we need to make sure we kind of rotate the squad as such. We've been able to bring some girls back in, which is pretty cool. Again, a load of girls went really well last week as well. But again, it's all about the squad and the squad effort this week.
Fantastic. Go well today.
Cheers. Thank you.
Packed in anticipation for the matchup to come, and is a sense that this one is laden with tries just on the eve of Christmas. And Loughborough Lightning, after an impressive display on the road at Shaftesbury Park last Sunday, have made very few changes. 2 in all. Catherine Tredder gets her first start in 3 games, and it's another one in the front row with Isla Curfey coming in for her first start of the season. With regards to Tredder, they'll hope she can continue her prolific try-scoring rate of 21 tries in 33 Loughborough appearances. But there's tries on the other side as well. May Sangapolu was a player of the match contender last week with her brace against the Bears. Sadia Kabea has been tearing up trees ever since that player of the final World Cup performance. Helen Nelson was incredible as well last week, and Alif Kelter has beaten more players than anybody else in the entire league. Kiwi Fitzpatrick gets to come in for Becky Boyd, wearing 19 today, and Fancy Bermudez has shaken off a head knock to be reinstated to the match day 23. We think with the half-century of points scored the week before that there'd be little room for change, but there's 11 all told for Barney Madison and his Trailfinders. Kate Zachary, captain's wearing 7. It's a USA, Scotland, England back row, formidable, with former Lightning Rachel Malcolm in there, and the destructive Abby Burton at 8. For the first time, it's an All Black Ferns second row pairing in Maya Roos and Alana Borland. And Claire Gallagher is back at 10. She'll be charged with releasing the gifts of Caris Cox and Meg Jones outside her. Annabelle Meta continues her conversion from back row to prop, wearing the 17 jersey, and Isla Norman Bell will be sparky from the bench. A tap-and-go try against Tigers, looking to target fatiguing defences. Well, he's had a busy weekend, has the big fella. He was here yesterday for the meeting of Saints v Sharks, and once again delivering the item top of every Premiership player's Christmas list, possession.
Nice one, like that a lot.
A festive feel, but Giselle, there is a lot at stake here. I think that both of the head coaches played down. Every game's a big one, but this feels like a turning point win for whoever is able to claim it.
Well, both these sides over the last 3 years have been 5th or 6th, 6th, 7th, and both of them so ambitious to move into the top 4. And this particular game between them will mean that one or the other will be in position to do that.
And she's going to play a big role.
Oh, Meg Jones now, you know, the competitive element that I talked about earlier. Meg is one of the most competitive individuals I've ever seen, and competition brings the best out in her. She relishes it, she loves it, the pressure side of it. She's almost less when there isn't pressure on her. She will absolutely adore this. And then you have Sadia Kabea as well from the other side, who again absolutely buzzes on competition. She will be thriving. She'll be looking to shut Meg down, to cause chaos in the half-back. She will be everywhere, and both those players are ones to watch.
And we'll certainly hear her as well. One thing that has been the gift of all of these PWR games being broadcast is pick up just quite how vocal Sadia Kabea is. We see her competitiveness in her actions, but vocally as well, she's so imposing.
And she demands a lot of those around her by doing that. And she, you know, she knows that those little differences and the little details, if she's communicating them, her teammates will come with her, which is what she needs.
There we go. Santa's emptied his sack and he's delivered the goods to Trailfinders. And, well, chop, sir. I hope you're a bit quicker on Christmas Eve than you are departing the field of play.
He's enjoying himself. Left the reindeers behind, that's why he's so slow.
I think maybe he tucked into the mince pies that were on show. I've never seen so many mince pies in the stands as yesterday when the Gallagher Prem was in town. And, well, we are underway, and Hainiala Latui wears a big shoulder from the two Myers, Montiel and Roos in tandem. Physicality is going to be key for Trailfinders today. Latui and Sangapolu, two of the most destructive carriers, and that woman too, Aliv Kelter, nearly 40 defenders beaten in the opening 6 rounds. And Lily Ives Campion as well has been bringing an aggressive brand in the engine room. Sangapolu takes a couple of Trailfinders to halt the tight head prop signed from Tigers over the summer. But strong D causes Nelson to clear the decks, and Rosie Inman will try and pick a hole. Darts through the hole that was left by Curfey, and Trailfinders exploring the wide edges already with Meg Jones. Abby Burton, fellow GB7 Olympian. There's plenty of them out there, many in Trailfinders colours, but an errant take from the pass from Borland. Seed possession to Lightning, though it looks like it might not have been knocked on. No advantage being played as it stands. Latui. How high is her ceiling? Still a teenager, and playing as if she's a 10-year veteran in the league.
Thank you, mate.
Nelson
Stop in front,
in the
King.
pocket, puts up the bomb, and Matai Onga was first to it. I wonder if she had a little more time to take it cleanly, but Alicia Maud is there to sweep up the crumbs, and we're 2.5 minutes in and we haven't had a break in play yet, Giselle.
That's phenomenal. And both teams really testing each other out.
Step back, Gold.
Lightning actually moving the ball from side to side before opting to kick it.
Stop in front, outside.
And that's a bit of an errant kick as well. But this is going off at the pace we thought it would.
Inman slings it to Gallagher, and Jones has stayed out on that perimeter, puts the footwork in, but can't quite scamper free of Bo Westcombe-Evans. Real pressure on the pass there. There's a bit of attention being administered in the midfield, and I think that maybe,
Stop, because if we play a phase there,
much to the excitement of everyone's lungs out there, we're going to get a break in play as a result. 3 relentless minutes.
Absolutely, and only the one error in it when Trailfinders got lost possession of the ball but didn't go forward, turned over, and then they're attacking. But a lot of play at the moment in the middle of the field. The backfield already Loughborough have tested 3 times. Rosie Inman didn't come in for that high ball quite, but the ball didn't bounce well for Loughborough and ended up further back than where they were. So you can see they're really testing each other out, and virtually every player now has had their hands on the ball, which will be really good because they will be very nervous about this game. They, you know, there is so much on it for both teams. So it's a nice start for all of them.
We're getting to see the incident that's caused this facial injury. It looks relatively not, because maybe there's a bit of friendly fire in there from a fellow teammate. But claret spilling.
But as you rightly say, this after 3.5 minutes of that, I think they'll all be finding their lungs out there. And that second win that we all talk about, it's a real process. Alev Kelton made a real difference there as well in her post-contact meters, really took the ball forward. She's going to be a really big influence this game, and she's a massive competitor.
There's a wonderful burgeoning partnership between her and Carmela Morale, who's such a classy player there at 12. And up against Karis Cox and Meg Jones, their 5th time paired together, the Anglo-Welsh pairing. So good midfield battle there.
Yeah, and Karis Cox, you know, she looks to Meg well, but she has a phenomenal break on her as well. Absolutely phenomenal. When she sees the space, she'll take it. So it's going to be a good battle. And Carmela, I've never seen her play live, so I'm really excited to watch her play. Really excited.
Yeah, very classy player, involved with England 20s, and there's big cohort of actual young players in an England camp this week, in fact. So a lot of them getting to know each other from other clubs and just beginning to get the taste of that pathway up to the senior squad, and just sort of looking around as well. Some of these players, likes of Annabelle Meta, who, when you were in charge, here's a back row, she's now becoming a front row. And you wonder how much influence England may have had in that, and looking to the future with future planning for props.
Considerable influence, considerable. But she is an explosive player. She, you know, and she's moving to that transition really, really well. She's brave.
Fine.
She wants to have a go at it. So we'll see how she travels.
Set.
Well, first it's the work of Leatherman, Ponsonby, Montiel up against Kerfi, Treader and Sangapolu. And it's a nice wraparound play that sees a tackle coming off the ball. So Trailfinders will enjoy penalty advantage. Just the stutter in the step as the ball was delayed from the base. And Andy Wigley doesn't have the patience to see things develop, and we come back for that tackle off the ball.
The discipline of both sides is going to be a really important influence in this contest, because Trailfinders at the moment have given away a lot more penalties than Loughborough thus far in the PWR this season, and it's just cheap shots. You're giving away ground, so they're Meg Jones just moving the ball up, and then they can go to the processes that you practice on the field, and giving away cheap shots in a game that's going to be this tight is something they can't afford to do.
Well, no lift, and really scrappy, in fact, and Zachary couldn't do much with what she was dished up there, and the captain emerges ruefully, and it'll be Lightning ball.
A lot of energy coming off of Lightning there when they've achieved messing that up for them and getting involved in that. A lot of energy.
Unusual for a line-out to malfunction with Georgia Ponsonby there. They've been so impressed by, I mean, her work rate, which is, of course, formerly a back rower, but her arrows, particularly impressive.
But it is an area both these sides have struggled with. They are 8th and 9th in the league for success at line-out, so both will be trying to impose.
You are emptying the knowledge bombs on us, Giselle. I'm going to take a photo of your notes later to share on social media. You've come tooled up. And Alyssian Maud has found herself caught in possession. Ella Amory wrapping her arms around her opposite number. Ives Campion just sort of shuffles into the channel to give Helen Nelson a little more time. And at the moment, Trailfinders are dealing with the kicking game pretty comfortably. Scrappy ball. Jones on an edge once more. Matai Onga clasped to her ankle.
You're fine at first, you go off feet and never release the ball.
Ooh, touch harsh, I feel. 11 there, as I say, that competitor in her, she is going to be a significant influence in this.
I think, well, rightly celebrating the number of defenders beaten, but in terms of a presence over the ball in the midfield as well, a genuine another back rower in terms of those skills on the floor.
Yeah, and I think that's a little harsh. As does Aleva, she looks at her. Anyway, we'll see.
As wide-eyed as she possibly could be.
Good contest.
Spoil by Ives Campion. Skittles through a few legs, and Gallagher does well just to pick her way through some on-rushing African Violet jerseys. The hands of Burton honed on the HSBC 7 circuit for so many years. And now an opportunity, just taking it to the line and threatening the fringes. Here comes Ball and the Blackfern. Brilliant turnover from Kelter. She gets it this time.
And there we go, straight back in for that competition. But what a carry from Alana Borland, but unfortunately got a little bit disconnected from her clear out, and that caused her problems. And last week, that was Loughborough's major problem, wasn't it? They had a disaster against Bristol Bears in terms of the amount of turnover, so I have a feeling that Nathan's had them working on that all week.
Oh, Evie Gallagher was a menace. She's absolute menace.
She is incredible at that particular... I mean, she's a great player all around the field, but that skill, she... Absolutely extraordinary. That was very similar to the last one, wasn't it? She's allowing them, and as they fall to the floor, she's straight in there. Interesting
as well, it's almost the quality of the carry from Borland, disconnecting her from the support. And again, this line out, malfunctioning in purple. Latui, is that a late hit? Play on the call, and Jones's pass lifted to Inman. Doesn't quite hit. Can see that Niamh Gallagher is already onto the field as well, wearing 23 for an HIA. Burton makes a big dent. Jones, plenty of touches for the England World Cup winner. And Trailfinders are really spreading it wide. They like these edges in the early exchanges. Oh, but they find the edge in the wrong way on this occasion.
So the majority of the game so far has been being played in Loughborough's half, but that's 4 now handling errors from Trailfinders thus far. And if the continuity of the play they're doing, it's being ruined by the accuracy of the pass. And with that, therefore, the momentum just dies, and they're allowing Loughborough to get back together again and go. Loughborough's kicking game at the moment, they're having to clear their lines from that each time, but haven't really got anything back from it.
Well, it's a real scrap, and Trailfinders have infiltrated the Lightning Mall. And I think that this is going to be handed over to the team in yellow, confirmed by the roar of Abby Burton.
Yeah, that's a good turnover, good drills, not allowing them to do what they want to do from that. And now they have the scrum opportunity.
Let's go, please.
Vicky Laughlin making her way to the edge. Wonder if a crossfield kicks on here.
The Trailfinders have bid farewell to Abby Dow. In fact, the whole game has bid farewell to Abby Dow, one of the most devastating to ever do it, but Vicky Laughlin's no slouch, is she?
Oh, she's a fabulous player, Vicky, and she works very hard in her game. She's very deceptive in how she, accelerates, and she came out with us on the GB7 circuit, and the acceleration in her sevens play was also superb.
Jones takes it straight from half back, links up with Cox, who continues to skittle purple jerseys. Trailfinders have Loughborough scrambling. Zachary back inside to Ruse. Screams coming from out wide, smartly claimed by Gallagher. They're so close, Trailfinders. Composure required. Numbers 2, maybe a bit of power. Burton, the battering ram, blasts her way through the last line of Loughborough defence. And Trailfinders get the try they deserve.
So that came obviously from the line-out where they wrapped up Trailfinders and then get the scrum, and then the centre combination work between Meg Jones and Karis Cox was fantastic. And as you said, 5 games they've had now together, really learning it here. So as you see on this replay, that's a lovely there, and then ball off, and then Karis is working hard. Look at the amount of players she sucked in there, totally messed the defence up, and ball moves nice and quickly. That lovely little ball back inside, and then Abby Burton, she is an incredible competitor. So today's game is made for players like Abby. She's always a great carrier, she's always there, but when it's on the line, she absolutely loves it. Great play.
Some formidable figures in the gym for Abby Burton. You can see there with the Olympic rings on the back of her arm, having done it twice in Tokyo and Paris. And, well, her fellow Olympian Meg Jones can't land the extras, but they have landed the first punch here today at Franklin's Gardens, Trailfinders.
And having been camped in their half virtually the whole part of the game so far, it's really important that they make that count. This kick-off now, really, really important that they return the play straight back into Loughborough's if they want to keep this pressure on.
Just seeing someone
just needed to find out who it was that needed the HIA.
Receive treatment. I think it's an HIA for Carmela Morale.
Have you got the replacement on?
So a couple of head knocks, and that means that Leah Green, who's returning to the squad today, bounds on. Very versatile, very classy player, Leah Green. Slightly different in terms of what she poses in an attacking sense to Carmela Morale. Oh, that is an error that is a gift, an absolute gift to Loughborough Lightning.
And this is where kickoff is so important to take, to do your drills really well and put the pressure straight back on. And it's, you know, often straight after a score, something like that happens. So now given Loughborough their first opportunity in Trailfinders 22, let's see how they use this scrum.
Both teams need to settle before the set. There's a little bit too much movement going on, okay? Settle down.
It is remarkable how kickoffs just persistently outfox professional teams, isn't it? It just happens every level across the game. I don't know what it is.
It's a major area of the game about keeping momentum and controlling pressure. And literally just after scoring, it's something that you have to then really get hold of and make sure that you set the platforms you want and not give gifts like this. This is an early Christmas present now for Loughborough. How are they going to unwrap it?
Latui puts a hand up for some carrying. Brave tackle coming in from Amory.
Swinging round in offside position.
And you hear that, the penalty advantage. Sangapolu gets met by Meg Jones, the centre taking down the tight head. Nelson drops it on the toe, a little bit of a kick to nothing, but almost causes problems for Niamh Gallagher.
So she used that as penalty advantage just to see if we could get anything, and they'll go from here.
Thank you. Swinging legs around in offside position. Tackler must move.
Sangapolu scored from precisely this range last week against the Bears. It was simple, it was direct, but it was fruitious. And she takes Lightning to the brink. The arrival of Cabella. And you ain't stopping Sadia Cabella at that velocity from that range. Big names stepping up.
Christmas present unwrapped, just as Nathan would like it unwrapped. But, you know, a side that's line-out is struggling this season. That's a really nice option to take. Clearly well-rehearsed, well-practiced. First one carried in beautifully, ball presented quickly, and then you've got Sardia coming onto that ball at real pace, and you can't stop a player with that power from that distance. It doesn't matter who's defending it, it just wouldn't happen. That's a very well coached and very
Brilliant.
well
She's actually gathered
an
possession
option
on the
taken
last
that
one.
is
So I
really
think it's a good
appropriate
contest.
to this team.
Thank you, that's good. That's what we want to talk about. Absolutely.
Well, that's a surprising miss, and what we thought was going to be a lead taken by Loughborough is actually just an equalising try. 5 apiece. Promising signs for a good tussle this afternoon here at the Gardens.
And here comes the kickoff. Let's see what happens. They've gone for the contest. Oh,
Matai
wow.
Honga, so brave, so authoritative as well. There was no one else in the Midlands claiming that other than Matai Honga.
Retreat in front, retreat in...
Nelson hasn't quite hit her straps with their kicking
hang on.
so far, and Loughborough are lucky to get away. But no sooner does Leah Green grasp it, Amory muscles her across the boundary.
Edge of the line, please, Pink.
So the drills were well, but the kick wasn't particularly good. I think they should have perhaps sent that further down the field to put the pressure back on Trailfinders, especially after Matatonga just won that play back.
Zachary offers herself, but instead it's the second layer, and Jones fashions a pass to Laughlin, and then they 1-2 it. Beautiful ball away, and now flashing down the right wing. First real meaningful carry from Grace White, and well, there was plenty of meaning in the following carry from Burton. Jones skips out the midfield, and then the one last pass has Malcolm stretching back, and the former Lightning back rower couldn't reel it in.
And that on
Go on, take the line.
from the line out attack across the pass to Meg Jones, she had to check, and if she'd been given that earlier and in there, they probably would have made that break through Grace White turn it into points. And again, the quality of catch pass that's going on with Trailfinders at the moment is checking their momentum.
Very unusual as well. It's sort of one of the skill sets that they hang their hats on, given the clientele out there in their ranks. They're managing to stop Latui at source at the moment. Good disguised ball for a straightening Kelter. Matai Honga, really lively presence on the wing, is always busy, always finding herself in the thick of the action. And then soft hands from Sangapolu.
Play on, off a foot.
Ives Campion drifts it out the back. Leah Green, the double pump, right to the line. And then the captain, Hibbert Jones. Plenty of nice play, but not many metres to speak of for Lightning. The Trailfinders defence driving the host back.
Retreat in front, retreat. Thank you.
And this time Nelson successfully splits the backfield, but one skip of the ball and slightly passive chase, and then the hint of a dog leg sees Grace White carry Trailfinders across the halfway line. Montiel. Zachary.
Advantage.
And Lightning can't help themselves. Free ball for Trailfinders to work with,
Okay.
and Laughlin to Inman. It's just that last pass when they get into the 15-metre channel, it's not sticking.
No, and it's causing them a lot of problems. And if they can just switch that up a little bit, then the pressure they'll put on Loughborough. But again, why they've given away that penalty there, right in the middle, so that now if they opt to scrummage or whatever they choose to do, they've got attack both ways. But there was no threat at all for Loughborough there. They had the defence all covered, and then in they go. Ill discipline. They don't need to do it.
How, as a coach, do you drill in that discipline into players? Because sometimes penalties are given away through pressure, but then sometimes it's through bad decision-making or I don't know, an inability to say no to temptation.
Yeah, and you know, in pressure games, you understand why players will push the edges, but you've got to know when. And that moment there, right in the middle of the field, with all defence set, just wasn't the time. There was nothing on for Trailfinders, no dangers. There's Kelter over that ball again.
Kelter taking on the entire Trailfinders breakdown, and she's
First
not
action,
rewarded.
13 needs to clearly release. You got a penalty.
Again, Kelter the culprit.
First action's 13 release.
She's getting scant reward for her industry at the moment, isn't she? From Andy Quigley's whistle.
He's not happy with the fact that when she's made that first tackle, what he wants to see is air between her and before she goes in after the ball. So she's still in contact with the player that she's tackled. They go to ground.
Trailfinders, straight
And
up,
then-
straight down, not check across, please.
She's going for the ball, and she can't do that. She has to wait.
Warning here for the Trailfinders lifters. They want a straight lift, and that's as crisp and clean as it gets. And Jones wrapping round the corner, holds on, bounces, slings it. White can't finish, but she does get
13 release.
shoved a few more meters. Burton pumping the pistons,
You're pulling
driving
her in, you're pulling her in.
close.
Don't push it against her.
And then Amory with a dart and a lunge. Still not quite there. Burton denied once more.
Back foot, Daisy. Advantage, turn offside.
Yellow jerseys queuing up out wide. One of them's Ponsonby. It was patient, it was composed, and ultimately it was Ponsonby. And Trailfinders have their second of the afternoon.
Wave after wave of attack there, really, really good. And the hit that Meg Jones absorbed there's not many players who'd have been able to stay on their feet after that. She was incredibly powerful as she absorbed that hit and then moved the ball out wide. Kate Zachary there having a word with the referee as well, making sure that they're going to have quick, clean ball. She's doing her captain's role really well there. She's not happy that the roll away from Loughborough isn't north to south.
Making sure that the referee sees her point of view.
100%, very, very experienced captain, both for
Which isn't one-eyed at all.
Chiefs, USA, and she's actually getting her point across very well there.
What do you think the impact of these players who have come to the league has been on English rugby? The likes of Kate Zachary, she's been around a long time now in the league, and you know, we're seeing an increasing influx of Black Ferns, Canadians, Spaniards, you name it.
I think there's positives and negatives to everything, isn't there? And I think from a positive point of view, we've got the best players in the world playing in this competition, and the fact that the Canadians, the Americans, Meg Jones leaving the field.
Well, that's...
Sorry to interrupt what I was saying
Yeah,
there, but that's significant.
I mean, this is the finish from Ponsonby, and it was a fabulous conversion from Rosie Inman. But Meg Jones is not just leaving the field; she's being helped from the field, and that is an alarming sign, not just for those who hail from Ealing, but with the Six Nations on the horizon, and it looks to be some sort of injury to her right arm.
Now that was a kick-off drill. That was fantastic. Received well and then ball placed all the way up there. For a second I thought it might even make a 50-22, which would have been phenomenal. But this now making Loughborough play from back in their own half after kick-off, superb.
Latui just demands the ball there. She's such a hunger for carries and post-contact meters.
Retreat. Thank you.
And Inman stretching and then picking her spot. Nelson's there. Really grew into the game come the second half last week. Slaloming through the Bears' defence. That's a balanced run from Lucia Scott. Quiet start to proceedings from the former Hartbury woman.
Advantage, two's offside when she tackles. Two's offside when she tackles.
But there's been a tap somewhere in there. Alicia Maud, true to type.
Backwards.
Thankfully backwards, but the momentum arrested. There are still numbers here wide. Latui's just going to go through the middle of them, though. Good hit from Olivia Leatherman. Westcombe Evans to Kelter. Fires herself back in. Can she free up her hand for an offload? Still just wrestles her way on. Green stepping in at first receiver, very much her comfort zone. Again, disciplined, smothering defence from Trailfinders. Latui asked to make headway through heavy traffic. Montiel acts as the deterrent.
Retreat, Pink, retreat.
And that's a nice angle. Real good kick from Nelson, who turns Inman. She has time.
Not touch, Cape Town. Retreat, retreat.
And Nelson, well, 50-22's called. I think that she was in and she's ultimately quite short, but it seems like there's opportunity out there on the field. It's been a long passage and there's going to be some lungs raging out there. They've lost the lieutenant out there, Trailfinders, in Jones leaving the field, but they haven't lost their ambition. Laughlin, room to stretch her legs, fends off Kelter, and that's a fabulous tackle from Matayonga. Gallagher, another early replacement onto the ball, the Ireland 20s fullback. And Cabea now has it, and now Kelter, who I think wanted a little bit more meat on that dink, but there is going to be some lactic in some legs out there, that's for sure.
Wow, the endeavour in this game is amazing. Players taking on, defenders being beaten, handoffs. Look at the body language of the players now, exhausted. Long passages of ball in play, it's fantastic.
On the line, please, Pink.
Great kick there from
we're going to see the Meg Jones incident here that's seen her helped from the field.
Ball.
And so something happening in the depths of that breakdown, and
I have a feeling it was from the contact that she absorbed that I talked about, that there's not many players that would absorb that, and she was still able to move, and the competitor she keeps going.
And rip a pass away as well.
Absolutely.
Taken in. Retreat, 9.
Big clearance. Matanga watches and then winds up. Lovely ball. Look at Jones. Fights to stay in field. The game has sparked up now. Sangapolu lifts it into the space that Sadia Cabea wanted to accelerate into, but just couldn't quite hold it.
Ruck speed there. Lycia Maud is moving really quickly across to the ball's being presented beautifully by Loughborough and moved, and it's a shame that again that we've had a handling error that stopped that momentum, but the speed that the ball is being moved by Loughborough at the moment is fantastic, and that all does come from beautiful ball presentation, but Lycia Maud covering the ground really quickly and making really quick decisions.
Big season for Lycia Maud in light of Leah Brebner-Holden, who's got a bit of a long-term injury. You worked with her in sevens. Tell us a little bit more about her.
Feisty little competitor, feisty.
Your type of player,
yeah,
eh?
she as soon as competition's there, she's, you know, it's not the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the dog, and she is one of those players. And you can see that little quick tap that she took. She will go. She's playing to program quickly, but as soon as she sees something, she will add that energy, and the others need to feed off that with her, and she'll give you great. I mean, that try she scored against Bristol last weekend, which changed the game there.
Okay, ladies,
Back of a scrum, she'd been passing the ball, conditioned the defence that she wasn't going, then all of a sudden, bang, and it was so impactful. So she's really, you know, she's been mainly sevens for quite a long time, but she's growing every single game she's playing in 15s and is a fabulous little scrum half.
Yeah, let's go, bro. Same again, life has been fast. Keep it here. Woo! Yeah, it's on gate.
Crouch. 5. line.
4-2 split on the backs on this scrum.
Set.
Well, it's a demolition job from the Lightning pack. And look at the energy that courses through them as they rise.
It's taken a few scrums to see this, but, you know, Loughborough are 4th in the league for their scrum dominance, and Trailfinders are last. And I've been waiting to see when that moment would come, and there it is in a very critical position on the field. Fabulous scrum from the whole 8, and it held, and then the power came through.
Okay, just be careful with the way you speak.
And they've got some propping issues at the moment, Trailfinders. Their physio room is pretty full when it comes to the front row. Cass Tough now, I think, a broken eye socket. Rory Wood still recovering from an ACL. Flo Long is injured in the back end of the season for Exeter, so she hasn't actually managed to play for Trailfinders yet. And then you've got Tanya Kalunivale as well. I mean, it's an attritional league, this, isn't it?
Yeah, and Sarah as well, you know, the Italian tight head, she's injured too, so...
Treader looking to use Sardia as her shield, and she's doing a mighty job of it. Treader in command at the back, just eking towards the line. It's about when she strikes now, but Maud says, let's get it out. Let's get it wide, let's get it to Poe Westcombe-Evans, who can't quite wriggle free from Laughlin, who covers in. Tricky ball for Nelson, Matai Onga. Well, that was a factor of a poor pass, but there was the insurance policy.
I think Catherine Treader should have hit the trigger there. There was an open space for her, and she just held that fraction too long. So just as you see here, you can see as they're driving, and then she'll come round. That's where Rachel Malcolm gives the penalty away.
Use the line.
Just held just before that was loose, and I'm not sure why Helen Nelson is always going for these long kicks across on the penalty advantage when it's not really on. I think if she keeps her side going, the referees these days are quite happy to give you 7 or 8 phases on that kind of advantage that close to the line.
Good contest.
Treader gets her chance down the short side with a training ground move.
Step back, Gold.
Sangapolu. So destructive from this range. Lutui to Treader. Jolted back by Zachary.
Step back 3.
One more carry from Lutui, but still not there. Thinks about going for more, but holds on. Hibbert Jones.
6, step. Hands up.
It is patient. It is punishing. It is inches away for Lightning. Kabea has one already. Sardia for a second. The roars go up, and so too does the arm of Andy Wigley.
Not pretty, but effective. So from both sides, to be fair. Defensively there, Trailfinders did a really good job, held 5 phases, but Lightning had decided that was what they were going to do, and they kept recycling the players, getting off the floor, coming back round, and then Sardia just took a moment and went back against the grain. And again, we've said already, you can't stop Sardia Kabea from that distance. She's patient, and then she switched the direction. Very smart, powerful Sardia Kabea.
She's some player, isn't she? And there's some career ahead of her as well. Remarked last week that you had to scratch your head that she's still only 23, turns 24 in February. I mean, how much better can she get? I think the answer's quite a lot, and it's an exciting or terrifying prospect depending on which team you're on.
Absolutely, and I was privileged to work with Sardia when she was very young, 18, 19 at Wasps, and to watch how she has developed in her career. She went to university, obviously, at Loughborough and joined Loughborough, got all that done as well, and degrees and all of those things, and she's a very articulate, fabulous role model, and as you rightly say, you know, the progress that she is going to make over those years, she's going to be a phenomenal competitor for a long time.
The USA Eagle claims it cleanly. Carries before Sangapolu. Another Eagle.
Retreat in
Does a
front.
bit of unglamorous carrying. And the clearance into the arms of Inman. Trailfinders looking to respond as we're a dozen apiece. Ball across the face from Gallagher. Invited the run, but the breakdowns invited the counter, and Trailfinders have fought hard to retain that. Gallagher, Zachary. Little room for the captain to work with, but still finds meters to make. The other Gallagher, Neve to Inman.
He's stepped away.
Laughlin, no room to work with. Two Lightning defenders in front of her. Immense strength to stay in field. Burton isn't scared of the boom, but even she finds the ball dislodged from her grip from a Kabea Lutui double team.
Huge energy coming off of Lightning there, because that was a very impressive defensive set. Check the momentum of Trailfinders' ball about 5 phases ago, which then they've had to rebuild and restart. Ella Amory, really intelligent play there. She had dived on the ball, rolled back and replaced, and players were able to help save that to prevent a turnover there. But the defensive set there from Lightning on the front foot all the time.
We referenced the Six Nations when Meg Jones went off earlier. Just sort of looking at the back rows, Sadia Kabea's nailed on, but then look at the next generation of 8s. Alex Matthews sadly can't go on forever and ever. You've got Maddie Feanati, but Haniala Lutui, Abby Burton as well. Those two are going to be vying for a position in that Red Roses squad. Really good matchup today.
Straight out mistake there. Yeah, I mean, it's a great contest for them to, you know, and whenever you've got a player that's right on your heels, it means that you continue to keep working. But something interesting here with Neve Gallagher coming on for Meg. Trailfinders went a 6-2 split on this there, and Neve is not always, you know, centre's not her favourite position. She's full-back, fly half. So from that point of view, that little gamble of going 6-2, but she's obviously working at the moment.
Goodness me, you heard the wind leave Zachary there as the impact was made. It does look a little disjointed.
But she's a warrior, straight back on her feet. Deciding what she wants done with the ball straight away. Ooh.
Touch missed. Matt Ionga wise to it and finds a brilliant touch all the way to halfway. Inman wastes no time. Gallagher straightens up. Approaching the final 3 minutes of a gripping first half. One that is as tight as many predicted. Sharp hands. Laughlin really busying herself around the field to get in off her wing. And back on the ball, caught woman and ball, Werscombe Evans with a great read. Leatherman just refuses to go down. Ponsonby the decoy, instead it's another Black Fern in Borland.
Advantage.
Another penalty given away in that midfield area when Loughborough had everything in hand there.
Going for the jackal again, and referee's not liking it. They need to show him a clearer release picture.
That's a beauty of a pick-up. And then the instinctive chip over the top.
This game is at breakneck speed. That quick throw in there taken by Inman, away we go again. It's, you know, they really are, both teams, as you said at the beginning, very similar styles, very similar ways to play the game. And this is, the ball in playtime must be off the charts.
I mean, the fitness of both teams as well, because I mean, you wouldn't say that there's been many fatigued errors as well. The handling wasn't great from Trailfinders in the first 15 minutes maybe, but you know, the pace is unrelenting right now.
Yeah, and I think that's a major step forward in the women's game, that the fitness of the players now is fantastic in virtually all of the teams. Everybody works incredibly hard on that area, and it makes a real difference to the way you can play the game.
Correct, yes.
I think, yeah, speaking to many of the coaches and people in the backroom staff, it's just trying to add layer upon layer of professionalism into the PWR on an incremental basis, and it all builds, and Laughlin is such an athlete who's profiting from that professionalism. She risks the offload, gives up the possession, but so almost through on her own.
And that's the strength of Laffers. She really carries that ball well, weaves through gaps that you don't think she's going to get through. But, you know, she goes for this little risk here to try and keep that alive. A little bit too much on it, but I admire the fact that she felt the players were around her, which they were. So she's trying to, if that had gone to hand, it probably would have been a try. So it's an error, but at the same time, it's an error that was in... You're really going for those points in a tight game.
Just under a minute.
Matayonga, Pulu Matayonga, who's had a very lively 39 minutes or so, is off for an HIA, and Fancy Bermudez, who joined from Saracens in the summer, the Canadian 7s and 15s international.
It's not a bad replacement.
It is not a bad replacement, is it?
Fabulous on the 7th circuit, very dangerous runner.
So good on the 7th circuit. I think that's the exciting thing about the league now, is it's just littered with high caliber internationals from both codes of the game. Trailfinders getting a little nudge, and Latui has to pick up, sprint off and bail out. Clock ticks into the reds, and Loughborough keep carrying. Nelson does find touch and brings up the close to an entertaining half that has seen Trailfinders take the initiative on 2 separate occasions. But that woman there and her 2 tries have clawed Loughborough back each time. It has been high tempo, high risk and high entertainment, and we're at a dozen apiece at half-time at the Cinch Stadium, Franklin's Gardens, between Loughborough Lightning and Trailfinders Women.
We are Loughborough Lightning. This is our town. This is our home.
Loughborough have a young and community feel when it comes to the fans.
Strong, fearless,
Electric. Ones to watch this season are Ala Latei and Sadia Kapea.
I'm going to bring us tackles, fast-paced, tries, good rugby.
Solo again, popped off, switch of direction, they come back round the other side, nice going, a little dink across, can they get on the end of this? Oh, it needs to be controlled, beautifully done by Rona Lloyd, and it is Sale who opened the scoring at the Twickenham stoop. The patience is well rewarded.
Here's Ross again, she looks at every inch a top quality operator. There's another one in Richardson. Lovely step from Lingham, that's delightful. Now, chance for the Tigers to get themselves on the scoreboard here. Gunter puts the ball on the edge to Kasakova, who's scoring. Tigers coming up with a beauty.
Corrigan spies the half gap. Granzotto's tackle. Apps finding Evans on an incisive line. Evans with one to beat with McMillan in support, and that a richly deserved score for Saracens' beloved cup captain Lou McMillan.
Amory just keeps hold of things and causes a little bit of an issue here for Tigers as they're opened up on the left-hand side. Here's Laughlin, cuts in. Vicky Laughlin already seeking the try line, and Trailfinders opening up with the most comprehensive of beginnings. Back at home and in the groove right away.
Phillips goes in, Michaeli Tutu. Now we saw a lot of this for Harlequins against Leicester. Warning there for Nick James to get round, go again. Paris Redding as well. Quins decide to use the backs. Cromack, space out wide. This time it goes to Wilcott. Wilcott backing herself and scoring! Quins take the lead for the first time in the match.
Evie Gallagher, the 8, capitalising on the work of her 6. And now the Bears are in full flight. Oh, that's as good a dummy as you'll see anywhere on Planet Rugby. Coast to coast from the brilliant Bears who are coming to life here on Sunday afternoon at Shaftesbury Park.
Fearless, fast, powerful. We are Trailfinders women.
It's such a great feeling to play at Trailfinders. We've got such a strong following out in West Ealing. That's our home turf.
We're going to be fast and furious. We're going to bring the tries, and we're so excited to start. We've got big names coming in. We've got a lot of internationals to go up.
We're such a tight-knit group. Everyone just expresses themselves.
Meg Jones is going to bring magic. Magic Meg. Trailfinders, we're going to bring energy, passion, and a lot more flair.
Well, highlights from the last round, and typically a ton of tries to enjoy. There's been 4 so far for the crowds who've come to Franklin's Gardens for this last PWR outing of the season for Loughborough Lightning. At the moment they're being entertained by quite an inventive half-time game where I think Santa is putting up and unders up and members of the crowd are chasing around with a Santa bag to try and catch the balls. Haven't seen that in my time, so kudos for the invention. And there we go. A bit of teamwork in there. Should we say on this, Giselle? We can get your expert opinion on this.
Yeah, it's
Here we go.
Quite a good fun game, isn't it? Here we go. Yeah.
Oh, that's extraordinary.
Magical. Perhaps they need to go and play for England in the Ashes. That might help.
Maybe get them on the plane. Get them on the plane. Right, should we look at a few highlights from what else has happened on the pitch in that first 40 minutes? A lot to enjoy, and I think a just reflection of the contest at 12-all, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. I think Trailfinders have had more territory, but the defence of Loughborough has been really good. But from this particular first try that Abby scored, they needed to take that at that time because they had been camped right at the beginning. In the beginning, with that leg drive that Abby's got there, and again, she's another player that to stop from that distance is really hard. And then this try was given as a gift, wasn't it, from the kick-off straight away, and then a very well rehearsed routine, which I think is very good for this team because the line-out isn't a definite source of possession for them. So to go from there and set that up, all players ready to go, and Sadia coming on at pace. This one, a lot of possession first before it, and they just sucked in so many defenders of Loughborough that they just ran out of space at the end. And Rosie Inman, she's had a really sound, solid game at the moment, making sure everybody's moving forward all the time. Her delivery is really good.
Good set play here, just to mix things up from the line out. And I think, a lot of people think about Loughborough and the style of rugby they play and that freedom, their attacking threats, but they don't mind rolling their sleeves up this season through the likes of Cabella.
Yeah, and you know, you've got a lot of players that are very direct. Kabea, Kelter, prop forward, Sagapolo, all of them really good at that low body position carry, and they used it to really good effect. 5 or 6 really strong phases. Trailfinders dug in, but when you've got players that and they committed to that they were going over the line that way, and they just kept going and going and going. It's good.
Tell me, Giselle, sort of reflecting on that first 40 minutes, will Trailfinders be in there thinking they've left points out there? Will that be a concern about not being quite clinical enough?
Yeah, I think in the first 20 minutes they were the dominant side, as I said, with the territory, the ball, but the quality of the catch pass, not all of them being knocked on, but if you play a ball that makes a player have to check, then defences are too good now to get around them, and there were occasions where there were 2 or 3 Trailfinders out wide, but because the pass had not gone the way it needs to, players had to check, and then the defence's cover has been able to come across, and I think they'll be a bit frustrated with that. From a Loughborough point of view, though, they are playing perhaps too much rugby in this area, and then when they've tried, that's when Helen Nelson's then kicking the ball, and she's kicking well, she's kicking long, but I think perhaps they should go a little bit earlier and put the pressure on them a little bit earlier rather than playing quite so much rugby in their own half.
Plenty of intrigue to come in this second half. It's finally poised with not a point between the two sides who are looking to pop themselves in the playoff positions for Christmas. The second half is coming to you shortly.
We are Loughborough Lightning. This is our town. This is our home.
Loughborough have a young and community feel when it comes to the fans.
Strong, fearless,
Electric. Ones to watch this season are Alan Latey and Sadia Kabea.
I'm going to bring this to tackle, fast pace, tries, good rugby.
Fearless, fast, powerful. We are Trailfinders women.
It's such a great feeling to play at Trailfinders. We've got such a strong following out in West Ealing. That's our home turf.
We're going to be fast and furious. We're going to bring the tries, and we're so excited to start. We've got big names coming in. We've got a lot of internationals to go up.
We're such a tight-knit group. Everyone just expresses themselves.
Meg Jones is going to bring magic. Magic Meg. Trailfinders, we're going to bring energy, passion, and a lot more flair.
Returning to the field for the second half, would you welcome back Trailfinders?
Welcome back, everybody. Hopefully you've managed to brew the kettle and grab yourself a mince pie in the brief break and recharge the batteries for a decisive 40 minutes with Trailfinders and Loughborough Lightning locked at 12 points apiece. The hosts out last and preparing to kick off. Bit of warmth in the ground after the flamethrowers go off around the tunnel, and well, that woman's been on fire all season and she can't stop scoring at the moment. 2 today to back up ones across nearly every round so far. And Lightning kick long into the arms of Isla Norman Bell, who has been introduced from the bench at half-time. There's a fair bit of reshuffling across both the backlines. In fact, we'll have to sort of wait for the first set piece to quite figure out where everyone's shaping up, and there is a complaint of a high shot there. Assistance. To Gareth Holsgrove, conferring from the sideline, and a handy penalty for Lightning to enter the Trailfinders half. Pretty innocuous and no malice in there. Think as well there's been a replacement Trailfinders-wise in Grace Moore. The Ireland international is on for Abby Burton. And it's a back row from the Lightning side who comes up with an uncharacteristic knock-on.
Great tackle there from Vicky Laffin to cause Sadia to dislodge the ball.
There she is, on for Abby Burton. She'll be hoping to repeat the feat of her 2 tries scored in green against Spain here in the Rugby World Cup. Got to play here twice.
Set.
And an interesting formation as far as the backline's concerned. Isla
Ball
Norman Bell
Ball is out.
gets leapt upon.
Yes, it is out.
And everyone has to back pedal and realign, and that is a brilliant carry. No right to make those kind of meters. And Lightning have given away another penalty. I wonder how much the focus that was of Nathan Smith's half-time chat.
Well, absolutely, and you know the discipline on a 12 all, and the history between these sides is it's always very close. The discipline when you're giving ground away, but if she's not made, she has made touch and done that really well, and that's cheap meters and gives you, as I said earlier, the opportunity now to go straight to the training ground of what you practice. And if it's not a threat, players don't need to make those decisions. So Niamh Gallagher is out in the back line, out at full back. Claire Gallagher is at 10. Ella Amory is on the right wing, which is why Norman Bell is in at half-back. That's some nicely timed hands, and Niamh Gallagher just releases the ball for the intended grummer, a touch too late, apologises to Amory, but I mean that's a significant backline shuffle. And I think those kind of errors will come from a backline shuffle like that. They won't have been playing in these positions for a long time, so there'll be a challenge for all the players now to really help each other out, and then the quality of catch pass needs to be really, really good, so you don't have to check for anything. as they work this out. And the communication between them, they're going to be talking, or should be talking, all the time.
She is, she's a hell of a footballer though, isn't she, Niamh Gallagher? I think Gaelic sports background, see Ireland 20s and player of the match against Tigers as well.
She was significant for Ireland in their under-20s championships last year, but she got injured at the end of it, which wasn't so good. But she is a phenomenal footballer, and I think we'll see her in full Ireland status very, very soon.
Wow, scampering to the touchline. How on earth has Amory kept that in? That is miraculous. She survives the charge down, but a bit of brilliance there from Ella Amory to keep that ball in field and avert the 50-22.
She is another incredible footballer, origin from Belgium, played a lot of Belgium sevens and has been over, she used to play for Harlequins, has been in the Premiership for a long time and works so hard at her game. Phenomenal human being as well.
The Bell Sevens, as they're known. Very impressive sevens programme. They've been close to going all the way up to the HSBC Sevens in times gone by through the Challenger Series. And showing all the dexterity that makes a good sevens player with that touchline save. Oh, that's loose. That's perilous. That could be Loughborough's to feast upon. But Gallagher drops. Gallagher concedes, and Cabea is grappling for it to go quickly.
So having seen Ella Amory make that wonderful stop the 50-22, the charge down from Loughborough, they've now capitalised on, causing errors again from Trailfinders here, and now we're going to see this routine again and see whether it produces 7 points.
May Sangapolu blasts off once more. Hibbert Jones, Cabea, no hat-trick quite yet. Hibbert Jones stopped in her tracks. Ives Campion has Sangapolu for help. But there's a Trailfinders body underneath. One more little dive to the line. Commendable discipline, back foot defence from Trailfinders. More poise. The late lift doesn't undo them as Ives Campion can't get there either. Sangapolu.
Hands up.
Bit more width on offer. Helen Nelson looks to thrash her way across. Held up with Norman Bell underneath. Brilliant defence from Trailfinders.
Fantastic, and they did go through the same routine, and Trailfinders, you know, obviously learnt from it, and that was fabulous defence all the way through, and they'll come out top on that particular one. They were inches short there on 2 occasions, literally an inch.
Kelter just tucks it under her arm and finds a yellow jersey to run into. Lightning still coming, still pummeling. Nelson has big runners outside her. It's a lovely line from Curfew, who makes the half burst. To the left they go once more. Nelson, Hibbert Jones thinks about releasing the pass, but it's cut off by Gallagher.
Advantage 9.
Ill discipline from Amory on this occasion. Gives Lightning some advantage to play with. Sangapolu and another running at the same hole. Tricky to pick up. Cabea bounces back inside. Well, no one puts a name on it. And, well, if they go quickly here, Trailfinders aren't very organised, but instead...
Loughborough really lost their shape then. They were... Sadia got given the ball with no one around her. They didn't have the same group, you know, pods around the ball that they've had all through the first half. They just, whether it's a fatigue issue or whether they were just then a bit white line fever from the original place, but they'd completely lost their shape there.
Good contest, but a clean claim. Some contact in the air, but some trouble brewing in the driving maul for Trailfinders. Yellow jerseyed arms wrapped round the torso of the Lightning player at the back, but the penalty was always coming.
If they're not careful here, Trailfinders will be flirting with a yellow card.
Can't set up properly.
Interesting that they've gone away now from their tap penalty routine and they're now using the line out.
Straight up, straight down, don't bumper in the air.
Ives Campion makes it hers, and there's real momentum. There is an African violet flood pouring to the line, and Catherine Treader, promoted from the bench this week, claims a try at Franklin's Gardens, and for the first time, Loughborough Lightning have the lead.
Really good drills there. Obviously the first one they got the penalty from and have gone back to it. When they've been successful on that tap and go routine and we're only inches short, they've now shown that they've got two ways that they can go there from that 5 metres, and they did it very, very effectively. The maul there, once the momentum started, they twisted, turned it. Ball really secure. Body shapes are good. And you can see that they're at that moment twisted off from Trailfinders, and they found the gap and all worked through together. Can Helen Nelson take it to 7 points for that?
Just slides to the wrong side of the upright. But having fought for 50 minutes and a bit more, Catherine Treader puts Loughborough Lightning in the ascendancy.
Now this kick-off routine, very, very important. They've had all the pressure in this second half so far, and they're obviously a very good second half side because that's what they did against Bristol Bears as well. They had a really good second half performance. Beautiful take.
Isla Curfey, for what it's worth, has made way for Amelia Williams, who is known for cutting a sharp line in attack, a devastating runner. Those are wonderful hands under immense pressure from Hibbert Jones, and Westcombe Evans thriving in open space. Caught by the arms of Claire Gallagher. Treader, Lutui. Lightning ball for Alicia Maud Sangapolu. There's a rhythm to the Loughborough Lightning attack right now. Emboldened by the score, Nelson almost slinking her hips through a hole. Big double hit. Montiel and more. Lutui to Treader. Again, huge tempo to the presentation and recycling. Malcolm in the thick of things, how sweet it would be for her to beat her old Lightning teammates. Westcombe Evans found a forest of legs, couldn't thread the grubber through, but Lightning retained possession. Green behind Lutui, and it did go forward.
Playing with ambition, again, driving forward. It's a beautiful play from Daisy Hibbert-Jones there. That wrist to take that pass, which gives them a good 30-metre break from Westcombe Evans down the wing. Pressure from defence. Again, they're so evenly matched, these teams. She did really well there, kept control of the ball. And then trying to shift the ball on fast has caused the error. With the changes in the scrum, this will be an interesting scrummage to see whether Lightning impose as they did in the first half.
Fine.
Two GB teammates there at 9.
Set.
Isla Norman Bell and Alicia Maud. Making life difficult for each other. Loving every minute of it.
You can see that. Let's go again. Yeah, agreed. Okay. Both of you that side aren't stable. We need to get that pre-engagement set so we've got balance, okay? Make sure you reload and keep your height. Crouch! Bind! Set! Okay. Hold on. I've given you the free kick. Far side needs to be square and stable.
Isla Norman Bell, undeterred, taps and goes again. Moore to Cox, beautiful ball, spun to the edge where Laughlin finally gets that offload sticking. Norman Bell adding a bit of spark since coming on at halfback. Snappy service. And Trailfinders now finding their groove. Amory, awkward ball for Malcolm, who cuts inside and soaks up 3 Lightning defenders. Oh, that's a huge hit that came from Latui as Claire Gallagher held on a beat too long.
Play on. Turned over twice, play on.
A real scrap emerging. Norman Bell, sniping in her DNA, gets in behind Lightning. Laughlin can't find the killer pass. How many times have we said that this game for Trailfinders?
Absolutely, but Isla Norman Bell's really adding some energy here. She's really, you can see the competitive element in her really flying out. She's looking for gaps, she's causing problems to the defences. But the pressure that both sides are putting on each other, and they're, players are having to make passes really, really quickly because the defence is coming up. Fantastic. We've got Shira Pinnock coming on here now, and she is a very physical player who will be bringing on the energy. And Alicia Maud now leaving the field as well.
Norman Bell, well, what a fabulous talent. A lot of her skill set honed on the touch scene in New Zealand when she was growing up, and her ability to unlock defences whilst on the highest stage in sevens when you were working with her.
She is such a skillful player. And also her acceleration phase, not 3 meters, she can shift really quickly, and that's why you're seeing her get through these gaps.
Tenacious too, and Inman, well, that wasn't being bought by Amelia Williams in no uncertain terms. Amory swallowed up by Westcombe Evans. Meg Davey is onto the field. And it is breaking up, isn't it?
It absolutely is. You can see the endeavour from both sides, but we're having turnover followed by turnover. And so players are, the structure on the field is disappearing, and players are having to play exactly what's in front of them and play what they see, which is fabulous for the development of all of them.
Rachel Malcolm leaves the field, and Shai Pinnock duly replaces her. I'm right in saying that Shai Pinnock she's a former sprinter and MMA fighter. Now, I mean, is there a better blend for a rugby player?
Exactly.
In terms of transition sports?
And she is very powerful, ball in hand, she is. And this is where we may now see the 6-2 split from Trailfinders make a difference. You know, they're changing a lot in the pack, and the speed of that first half and the amount of ball in play time. It's having the forwards will potentially, fresh forwards will hopefully make a difference for them.
Green releases Matayonga.
21.
Delicate chip causes some chaos.
Advantage, knock on. Advantage over.
Amory
15, good
swipes it clear. Nelson hits fast forward, a weaving run. Saw plenty of those at Shaftesbury Park in the latter stages last week. Green just lifts her eyes to see the oncoming traffic. And the ball spills forward.
And that was good quality ball for them to attack from, real speed. They've got good go forward. She'll be disappointed with that. The pressure players are playing under at the moment is immense.
The other way around. You need to hold your weight. Make sure you don't come across nice and square.
She'll be disappointed with that because that was good quality ball for them to work off of.
Christine Belisle comes on for May Sangapolu, who had a terrific start to life as a Lightning player since joining from Tigers. And yeah, we got another Canadian onto the field now in Belisle, heading from Peterborough in Ontario, not Peterborough from round our way.
Set.
Turnover at the scrum, and
Bo Westcombe Evans puts a chip in, and that is a troublesome ball for Claire Gallagher to retrieve. And the chase is good, and the field position is perfect now for Lightning.
And it's those moments, isn't it? This is a crucial one that they've stolen the ball against the head in the scrum, attacked wide, lovely little chip ahead, which puts Trailfinders under huge pressure. She didn't have any other options there, and they now have this fabulous attacking platform. It's very interesting to see how they use it. They score here, they really are taking control of the game.
That's better, keep your height, okay?
Nelson and Kelter have communicated, and both centres have just swapped places as a result.
Crouch! Bind! Set! Hold!
Latui picks, goes, tries to find a seam. And that's brave defence with Norman Bell involved as well. Big moment in the match, this. Loughborough leading by just the one score. A chance to put genuine daylight between the sides. And it is bruising. It is unrelenting. And Trailfinders can't keep it legal. The advantage for the African Violet. And the jerseys streaming out wide. Nelson goes long, over the top. The feet, the finish from Lucia Scott. She had so much to do, but she did it with aplomb. It's the bonus point try. And it is also the try that takes them to more than one score clear.
They were full of intent there, full on hitting the line again, like we saw them with their second try. And then once the penalty advantage came in, they were able to take the risks. And Helen Nelson in there, and then Lucia Scott, lovely footwork and handoff into the corner. But intelligent rugby, they know they've been successful with that before. Pick and go, pick and go, pick and go, totally relentless. And then the moment the referee's arm goes up, that is the moment that Helen Nelson says, right, I can take risks. And the risk paid off.
No extras to add, but a 10-point cushion. Lucia Scott, she's had a quiet game by all accounts, but when called upon to apply a precise and clinical finish, the former Edinburgh player delivered.
It's all about those moments and taking the opportunities when they present, and they've done that very well. Now, more changes, but are they now going to take the ball back into that half, or hand Trailfinders their Christmas present on this kickoff?
Some more changes coming from the respective benches. Kiwi Fitzpatrick now on for Loughborough Lightning, who have been buoyed by that try, but they found themselves stripped of possession in that clinch. Trailfinders need some points. They need something to open up Lightning right now. Amory, uncompromising carry through the challenge of Westcombe Evans. Pinnock just explodes from a standstill start. Cox. Oh, it's a brilliant offload to Laughlin on the shoulder. And Norman Bell continues to add spark. Grace Moore injects herself on a straightened line. Beautiful hands, and Trailfinders respond in a flash.
They are not going away. There is no way they are lying down and letting this go. That was an amazing try. Really, the momentum as they put those through the phases from side to side of the pitch, absolutely fantastic. Beautiful from Karis Cox, straightened really well. Lovely offload to Vicky Laughlin. Constant going forward, so the defence from Loughborough really struggled to reform, and then they kept working to the edge. Really lovely try. Game on.
Game on indeed. The captain Zachary receiving the try-scoring pass from Niamh Gallagher.
14 minutes to decide which way this contest goes. All to play for.
Zachary, one of a cohort of leaders within these Trailfinders women ranks. Everyone offering a little bit different to the other, and goodness me, in the context of these team seasons, of that press for playoff places, that is a massive conversion.
Penalty in it.
Drained from out wide. 3-point game. Just under 13 minutes to go. Westcombe Evans. Leah Green travelling with the ball in both hands, but turned over when engaging in contact. Christina Blanco on wearing 16, but knocking on. Shia Pinnock enjoying that turnover immensely, but there was advantage being played.
Karis Cox really coming to life at the moment. She's had significant impacts in the last two in that try by straightening up and coming forward and giving the ball to Laughlin, and then that fabulous tackle there, which allowed Trailfinders to turn the ball over.
Crouch. Bind. Set. Use the ball.
The short side being probed. Nelson driving ahead. And the Tui gets another carry under her belt. She gets dished up by some ravenous defence. Amelia Williams sprints off, but gets stopped. It was a clunky ball. I'm not sure that Talia Brodie particularly wanted, and she's had to muscle up to get it to the floor. Nelson put some air on it. And the momentum just at the moment feeling like it's with Trailfinders.
Number 20, never on side.
And I think Talia Brodie not retreating on the kick.
And again, that's an error in defence, that giving away a penalty like that, just don't need it. Now Trailfinders are going to put themselves in the 22. Which they do. Knowing the laws and obeying them under pressure.
On the edge, please.
Just didn't happen. Shira Pinnock's hit there, unbelievable. She has come on here with a mission, hasn't she? The competitive nature in her, she's adding physicality, which is really making the defensive line from Trailfinders that much more dynamic.
And it's Pinnock. It gets put up at the front. And now the Trailfinders, for the first real time, flex their mauling muscles. While Norman Bell just sort of trying to position her forwards on the right line before whipping it out to Karis Cox, who is growing increasingly prominent in this contest. Blanco. Boshed. Penalty conceded, the ill discipline creeping back into the Lightning game. And Montiel, the tight head, 71 minutes on the clock, still going back for more work. Blanco. Cox gets a bit congested, but they always knew they had the penalty. Norman Bell threatens to go early. What do you do here, Giselle?
Well, you've got 3 points to equal the game at the moment to make it 22-all if you take the kick. They're having a big discussion about it. The leaders are all coming together, communication between. Yeah, they're going to even up the game, 22-all.
Wow. Urgent eyes looking towards the touchline there for guidance on what to do with the penalty. Rosie Inman should make light work of this, given the conversion that she just struck from right out wide. Nailed. Straight through the middle. And we are once again level. Loughborough Lightning 22, Trailfinders Women 22. The game in the balance, in the battle between 5th and 6th. Both hoping to rise into the playoff spots for Christmas. And Sadia Kabeya is leaving the field. She's been replaced by Kendall Wardby, who's actually been covered. Well, she's on the bench to cover Hooker today with 16 on her back. But she goes into her better well-known position of open side flanker in place of Kabeya. Big boots to fill.
Yeah, it's a very big call with a game balanced like this at 22-all. Very, very big call.
Big penalty from the failure to release. And Nelson takes the ball straight away. This is a long way out. And she is going to send this to the touchline. Sarah, it's Loughborough.
On the 22, please, Trailfinders.
Trailfinders 5, Trailfinders 7. Just over 5 minutes. And it's stolen. The throw of Treader dies, and well, that's an uncomfortable transfer, and I think it's ricocheted off the face, or... Well, there is scrum advantage. But more importantly for Lightning, it's in their hands, and Latui forges ahead. Belial battered back.
Advantage over from the knock-on.
An advantage is played. Hibbert Jones, the captain, trying to will her team further forward into the 22. Talia Brody smashed. Pinnock in amongst it again. And Amelia Williams gets struck low by Karis Cox, and the chop creates the opportunity to steal.
Pressure everywhere, players having to respond, the coaching staff are all, from both sides, all totally involved, shouting and everything that's happening, ball moving backwards and forwards, referees' decisions. 22-all, 6 minutes to go.
Right, YouTubers, your turn as well to get your vote in for the player of the match as selected by Giselle here. So you have the choice of Loughborough's number 13, Alef Kalter, or Sadia Kabeya. And for Trailfinders, Alana Borland or captain Kate Zachary. So the voting is now open for the Built 4 Athletes player of the match. Who's going to have the biggest say in these closing minutes?
Same move. Same move. 8 out, 8. Okay, that's one.
Physicality from Trailfinders. Forward, emboldened bench, making ways. Norman Bell just can't quite wriggle free of Nelson. Roos. The arrival around the corner from Cox, who has been a force of nature in this second half. Gallagher. The hits continue to rain in. Loughborough need to be squeaky clean now. But play will stop for an injury.
Yeah.
And the pressure now mounting on the African Violets.
These moments, it's all about decision-making and discipline, and doing the quality basics really, really well. And this is the most important stage, to make sure that your basics are actually on point, and with everybody shouting and communication high and so much on it for both these teams in terms of the long-term finish at the end of the season. These 5 points, wherever they go, are absolutely critical. Both teams now, massive communication opportunity. Both are in tight huddles together, communicating about what it is that they want to do. Obviously, this will be a Trailfinders ball when it restarts. All planning, all knowing what their roles and responsibilities are, and then it's about executing them with cool heads.
Easier said than done, I'm sure, Giselle.
Absolutely, but this fixture produces this every time. 36-34, Trailfinders lost it last time with a kick at the end.
Drop goal.
Yep. And probably one of the only drop goals there were all that season. And then it was 18-19 back at Trailfinders in a previous game. This game serves this up every single time. And this is really what the league was originally designed to do, to give competitive fixtures week in, week out. So when the international side, the Roses, go out, they weren't having to make these big decisions in internationals for the first time, but that they're doing them week in, week out. And this is fabulous development for players, for learning how to manage these situations, so that as they go higher up, and there are several internationals out there from all nations, as they go up higher into those even bigger pressure cookers, they've done this before, they've seen it before, and it really helps to learn how to manage so much pressure.
We're seeing Kate Zachary there imparting the words. You've got someone like Isla Norman Bell, who has been in, the ultimate pressure cooker of sevens, where the stakes are so high and errors are punished so brutally. To have those sorts of characters as well blended in there.
Yeah, you've got 14 minutes in sevens, haven't you? So every single decision that you make is critical because there's only 14 minutes. And Isla will be loving this. She'll be absolutely loving this pressure cooker. It's what she lives for.
And she is probably got more than half a mind on a snipe from the base of this scrum. Big blind side to work with for Isla Norman-Bell, who has
9, just the tunnel for me, yeah. Square.
the spectre
Time on.
of Megan
Crouch.
Davey over her. Hainiala Latui
Fine.
has gone off.
Isla's big smile on her face. She's loving this.
Laughlin stacked behind Gallagher. They move to the left. They move a little early. And it's the other Gallagher to Cox, who gets thudded by the shoulder of Wardby. Make or break for Lightning and Trailfinders on this December afternoon at Franklin's Gardens. The playoffs, the prize to be sat in whilst enjoying Christmas dinner. Oh, just a juggle from Norman-Bell, but no knock-on coming. Rapid line speed, breakdown being screamed by the Trailfinders coaches. Grace Moore bringing her power to the carry. But Brody standing up, huge carry from Borland. Skittling African violet jerseys. Caris Cox, another purposeful carry. To the edge they seek Laughlin. She can't find a way through. 90 seconds to go. Pinnock.
Step back, 17.
Zachary. Norman-Bell. Gallagher. Loose ball. Goes through the fingers. Inman. Inman to win it at the death. Rosie Inman ghosting through for what could be a season-defining win for these Trailfinders.
And there it was, quality basics again and again and again. Decision-making good, nobody trying to be the hero, just working it as a team. And that was a real team try. Keeping control of the ball, making sure the numbers are around the breakdown. And then Rosie Inman at the end, not an international rugby player, made an international decision. Fabulous. And there are a lot of players out there who are international players. It's a wonderful moment for Rosie. She works incredibly hard. She's shown and gone all the way through and just made that decision really, really well. Fabulous moment for her.
And she will be charged with the conversion. The points are, well, they're not immaterial, but it'll be the time that's taken from the clock. There will be time for a restart.
That's 10 seconds, okay?
Trailfinders colours in her hair. Trailfinders points from her boots. A maximum 7 from Rosie Inman. And Trailfinders on the brink of a seismic win at the Gardens.
And here we go. Well, they're obviously going to go for the contest. No, she's kicked too long for that.
Stop, 21, 21.
And that...
Trailfinders go straight out on the full. And the East Stand at Franklin's Gardens comes alive with hope once more. They can only hope for a draw. That was the bonus point, by the way, for Trailfinders. I forgot amongst all that excitement.
That kick from Rosie, what a way to convert the try to make sure they can't lose this game.
Kelter deployed. No errors can be afforded by Lightning. No penalties from Trailfinders. Thundering physicality. Pinnock has brought the noise since arriving from the bench. Davey, Brody. A fight to the death from both these sides. Nelson just doesn't see an option that she likes, so goes it herself. Belial knocked back. Brody bringing great energy, but not enough to make it into the 22. Scott draws a high tackle. Davey offloads off the deck. Oh, a barnstorming break! A bulldozing run! And Fancy Bermudez scores for Lightning. And it will be a conversion under the weightiest of pressures to level the match and snatch victory from the hands of the Trailfinders.
Wow, wow, wow. What a play from there from Loughborough. No errors, no mistakes, real accelerations into contact. And then that advantage comes from the penalty advantage. They hear it, she makes the break, fantastic. But the pressure now, and she has not had her best kicking game off the tee. A real hush around the ground.
African Violet in arms, in anticipation, in hope. Christmas ice in the veins of Helen Nelson, who is swarmed by her teammates as she seals the most remarkable draw at the deathliest of deaths. An unbelievable match here in the PWR, Giselle.
That was bonkers, and there is a seasoned international. When it counted, she put that ball through. She may look back and rue a couple of others that could have gone over earlier, but what a phenomenal last 8 minutes of rugby we've just seen. Decision-making, skill, massive skill, discipline, everything. Really phenomenal finish to that game. And at 29-29, they both take the points back. So an OK Christmas for both, an OK Christmas for both coaches. But that will really throw the table now. You know, that's open for them. And the next encounter when they meet again will be critical.
Final score here at the Cinch Stadium at Franklin's Gardens. A PWR epic and 3 match points apiece for Loughborough at Lightning and Trailfinders women. They can't be separated. It took 80 minutes and more, but 29 points apiece. A draw here at the Gardens and a thriller to the end of the year. Right. Time for the Built for Athletes player of the match. We've still got some admin to get through, and Giselle, you can reveal who the people have voted for on YouTube. Or shall I? I'll reveal, and you pay credit. Well, it is Loughborough Lightning's 2-try scoring number 7, Sadia Kabea.
I think this game has been an interesting one when having to select a player of the match, because all players have done their part in today. It's not been a game where it's been dominated by one particular player, but obviously Sadia, you know, the defensive work she's done and then the 2 tries is why she goes ahead. But there's been so many players. The second half, if it had been, you know, Karis Cox had the same impact as in the first half as the second, she'd have been up there. Isla Norman-Bell, although she only came on for a half, she made a massive difference. So there were several players that could have been up for it, but the work rate of those that we did put up for it has been the reason why. The forwards have worked so hard with the speed of this game, the ball in play, the ambition of all the players. What a game of rugby. And if you're neutral, even more.
If you're neutral, how can you not be hooked on this league? The Built for Athletes player of the match, Sadia Kabea, who is sporting a stern face. I wonder who's happy, who's sad amongst those two huddles at the moment. It was such a remarkable game that, you know, the lead exchanging hands and fought tooth and nail. It feels like the fair result, but I'm sure that neither huddle will feel that way at the moment.
If you take across the 80 minutes, absolutely. But in that one moment, that missed touch, well, sorry, straight into touch, that gave Loughborough their opportunity. So I think at this moment in time, Trailfinders will feel that they've been robbed because they had 10 seconds left to play and then kick it straight out. And that's when Loughborough then, and fair play to Loughborough, to be able to capitalise on that was quite phenomenal. So right now, I think perhaps Trailfinders will feel just a little bit more crushed because I think they thought they'd won it.
Makes things that little bit more spicy when these two meet for the reverse later in the season. And look, it's all about the playoffs for these two because they've come pretty close the last few seasons, and this season you feel it's about breaking through that glass ceiling, isn't it, for both of these sides?
Absolutely. You know, they were 5th and 6th a couple of years ago, 6th and 7th last year, and currently sitting 5th and 6th this year. And both sides, fabulous pathways going through. Brunel University for Trailfinders, and obviously Loughborough University for Loughborough, and they all put a lot of work into the pathways. They're ambitious sides, both wanting to go forward. They've got fabulous rosters at the moment with the international names that they have, and they really do want to find their way to the final playoffs, the top. You know, neither side. Obviously, Trailfinders is a very new side. Loughborough's been knocking on that door for a long time, but that's where they want to be.
The promised land of the playoffs. Well, we're none the wiser as to which one's going to make it after that. Let's kick back and enjoy the highlights, plenty of them. And I mean, the finish to end all finishes, really. We've been treated today, and it was interesting to see both sides in the ascendancy at different points and managed to wrest momentum back off one another. And Karis Cox there, who just grew into such a formidable force in the second half with that burst that created the opportunity for Abby Burton to do what Abby Burton does.
Yeah, I think Karis, once Meg went off the field, Karis really stepped up and took responsibility. I think, you know, when she plays with someone like Meg, the two of them will work together, but Meg's obviously such a strong character out on the field, and I think Karis went, right, I've got to step up here, and as soon as Meg had gone from the field, she had a very impactful game.
Rosie Inman with the assist. It was she who, well, she kicked fabulously, but almost had the winner. There was a fair bit of adversity for both sides to deal with as well there in terms of the personnel. A lot of early replacements, HIAs, sort of reshuffling going on.
Yeah, losing Meg, losing Grace White went off as well. So that back line had to reshuffle. A 6-2 split, so they didn't have as many options. But Neve stepping up and playing in a position not often there. Ella Amory onto the wing. You know, they all played their part in doing that, and it shows the phenomenal athletes that they are and the rugby players that they are. You know, they cope with adversity. They just get on with it and have produced some. You know, this game has just been. I'm blown away by it. Actually, it's just been fantastic. I knew it was going to be. There wasn't much to split, but I must admit I didn't think it would end up as a 29-all draw.
I'm not sure either of us were expecting quite that ending, and you know, you go for that emotional roller coaster that these players will have been through from going from a Trailfinders point of view, the ecstasy of feeling that they'd snatched it. And I feel for them to come back from this try. This was the try that really opened up a bit of daylight, and you thought Loughborough had a bit of pep in their step. If they got another, then they were home and hosed. But this try from Zachary, this is a real turning point.
Yeah, I mean, Helen Nelson delivering that point over there on the last try, and then this one, you know, built and built, and you could see the when the try was scored for Loughborough, it seemed to ignite something in Trailfinders, their competitive spirit. And we said right at the end, who wants this more? And suddenly Trailfinders were like, no, this isn't happening. We're not gonna lose this. And the decision to take the penalty and kick it through again, that put massive pressure back on Loughborough, because all of a sudden it was a draw again, and that knocks the energy. If they'd gone for the try, maybe they could have won it. Who knows? And this moment for Rosie, how special for her. And obviously I've coached Rosie and know her well, and she will be absolutely buzzing with that. She works very, very hard. And it's not always easy being the non-international player in an international backline. That's hard. And she plays with such confidence. She's had a fabulous game, and that particular moment for her will be very, very special.
And for Fancy Bermudez as well, her most significant contribution in a Loughborough jersey. Just all that power, that predatory sevens try-scoring instincts. But Helen Nelson,
ice in her veins.
Yeah, when the heat was on, goodness me.
And when you haven't had the best kicking game, to then kick that ball absolutely right through the middle of the posts was, because she had another one from there and she didn't get it. So that's real international pedigree, where nothing else matters. It doesn't matter what happened in the rest of the game. It's that moment. She was present and played what they say where her feet were right at that moment in time, and put the ball straight through the posts.
Well, a bittersweet sensation for both the sides, and almost sort of a consoling embrace there between Catherine Tredder and Olive Kelter, the two USA Eagles. But look, from the neutral, that was a real joy to watch.
Well, nobody really knows what to do with a draw in rugby, do we? We don't have that many of them, although Exeter Chiefs have had 2 this year, and that actually, one of them was against Loughborough, was it not? So they've had, nobody really knows what to do with a draw, because we don't have that many of them in rugby. And everyone kind of, well, did we win? Did we lose? Should I feel okay about this? Shouldn't I feel okay? And you can see that on the faces of all of the players. Nobody's celebrating, but nobody's, too crushed.
Right, the debrief, the post-mortem begins. Let's have a look at the other results as well from this weekend. It was, of course, big game 17 yesterday, where Harlequins hosted Bristol Bears, but they didn't give them anything, did they? Some wonderful tries and a maximum 5 points. South Sharks, decent tilt at Saracens, but the North Londoners proving too strong. And, well, it's always a tough ask when the three-peat champions come to your place, and Tigers under the cosh at the moment at the hands of Gloucester Hartbury. On iPlayer, you can probably pop across and catch that now. Right, we got a bit of a break. Got to wait till the 30th of January. What are we going to do, Giselle? But it'll be coming thick and fast. Big London derby. I like the look of Trailfinders v Quins, and everyone will be rested, rejuvenated, and refocused. Chiefs going well. Tigers looking for that first victory. Bears, Sharks. That feels like it'll be a tight one. And then Gloucester Hartbury against Loughborough Lightning on BBC iPlayer.
Yeah, I think now, having had World Cup, a very, very successful World Cup, and then straight into PWI, I think this Christmas break, the players are really, really looking forward to. Opportunity to rejuvenate, to relax a little bit, to switch off completely, because they don't have to come straight back in January for a game, and I think that's really, really important for the majority of the players in the league now. Do need this break, as do their staff.
As do the commentators as well, actually. Last thing on the PWR as a whole. Best iteration of it so far in terms of competitiveness, do you feel?
Yeah, I mean, on the given day, most sides, you're not quite sure who's going to win them. Whereas in the past, sometimes you've gone, yeah, we know what this result will be before. It's just a question of how many. It's becoming more and more and more competitive. As I said, we've had 3 or 4 draws already this season, which is, in rugby we don't draw that often, but they're so competitive. And players now have to perform on the day. It's not about turning up because your team is better. There are still a couple of sides that are ahead of the group and a couple that are struggling a little bit, but it is a much more competitive league. There's Sadia there, thinking about it all, and Helena Rowland, obviously, I'm not sure when she'll be back, but what a player she is.
An exciting prospect with some great names to return, and us to return to you on the 30th of January when round 8 will be coming at you. My thank you to you. Giselle, will you come again?
It's been a pleasure. Love to.
You'll come again, and we know that you guys are going to come again. How could you not after a match like that? 29 apiece, the match points, spoils shared for Christmas, and we wish you a very Merry Christmas, and we'll catch you on the PWR channels in the new year.